Welcome to That's Joy, the podcast. I'm your host, Cece Calbanero, and I'll be sharing stories of miracles, God moments, and unpacking the truth behind what joy truly means. My friend, when God gives you a direct call on your life, be sure to answer it. Here's to answering my call together. Hello, my sweet, sweet sister or brother, whoever you are, wherever you are. I welcome you to That's Joy, the podcast. Thank you so much for choosing to plug in today. My goodness, your time is just such a gift, and I don't take it lightly. So my hope in today's episode is that I would just bring you an ounce of wisdom, just some tips and things that I wish I would have known or even heard when I was younger, specifically speaking to my 15 and 16-year-old self. So before we kick off all of those wonderful tips and tricks and pieces of advice, you know that we love starting off every That's Joy episode with a little joyful noise. Now, what the heck is joyful noise? Joyful noise is our version of good news. Like, what are the good things that are happening? Let's hype up more of that. And so today's joyful noise is all about my weekend. This weekend, I had the honor of spending time with high school girls. I was at a high school ministry retreat that was put on through Southern Grace here in Franklin, Tennessee. And my goodness, you guys, my heart just feels like it's swelling in the best way. If that even makes sense. More than that, it's overflowing just with so much joy and love after spending time with girls who are walking with the Lord so closely at such a young age. In fact, if any of y'all are listening to this who I got to spend time with this weekend, shout out to y'all. I feel better, truly, for knowing you and for the little bits of wisdom that you imparted on me. But specifically, my joyful noise is less about a big nugget, but reminding myself that I want to forever be someone who remains playful no matter my age. And why I say that is because one of the activities that the girls got to do is capture the flag, but not just normal capture the flag, glow in the dark capture the flag. And guess what? They were missing one extra person to make the teams even, and there were only mentors and teachers left. And so I immediately felt the tug to join in on the game, and here I am in the middle of a dark field with a glow in the dark wristband on my wrist playing capture the flag with 14, 15, and 16-year-olds who, by the way, are really freaking fast. Y'all are fast, okay? I thought that I still had some wheels on me, which I kind of do, but they are really fast. And so it's my joyful noise of the week because honestly, it brought me so much joy. It reminded me in my spirit and that like childlike faith inside of all of us to never go to sleep. To always be awake to fun and awake to newness and things that we used to do. Like, I just don't ever want to get too far away from being quote unquote too cool or quote unquote too old to be doing those things. So I don't know what fun opportunities lie ahead for you in this season, in this week, or even in this month. But I hope through sharing my joyful noise this week, you just answer. And you do it. Like, who cares? Just do it. Life's too short. And if it is a good thing, like I say on my TikTok videos, if it is a good thing, I don't need to explain what good things are to you. But if it is that, more than likely you will walk away with even more joy than what you had walking into it. So do the thing, say yes, let's go. Okay, but are you guys ready for my best pieces of advice though? I honestly, sometimes when I'm creating show notes for each podcast episode, I get a tad overwhelmed if I'm being honest, because there are moments specifically like this one where I really feel the gravity of it. I understand that I'm holding a a very sacred message in my hand that can be potentially really influential for you listening to this. And whether you're on a walk right now, or maybe you're washing the dishes, or you're doing your laundry, or you're on your way to school or work, whoever you are, wherever you are, I understand that these words carry weight. Like I always say, life and death is in the power of the tongue, and that is scripture. Proverbs 18:21. But I'm ready. I'm ready to dive in, and I know that it's challenging to share everything with you on one single podcast episode. So if there is a grand slew of peeps who are like, more of this, CC, I'm snapping right now, can you hear me? Then we'll dive in and we'll unpack more. But right now, I'm going to share my top. The first being, love your people and love them well. That is my first piece of advice that I would give to my younger self. Why? Because I just really understand the gravity and the importance of that alone. Like that singular thought, you guys, that can actually be transformative to all areas of your life. And it's no wonder why God had the greatest command for us to do exactly this, right? To love God with all your soul, all your heart, and all your mind, and then to love your neighbor as yourself. And I think that there are so many moments as I look back at 15-year-old Cece and 16-year-old Cece. She was so ambitious. She wanted as many leadership roles that she could carry while achieving a high GPA, while also playing basketball and being captain of the basketball team, and also wanting to play tennis at the same time. And I was the queen of how many balls can I juggle? Let me see how many I can, and quite literally watch a few fall, because you can only do so many at a time. Can I get an amen? Someone resonates with that. But that was 15 and 16-year-old me. And so while I was caught in the moments of busyness of high school, there were a few areas that fell short. And one of those, as I look back, is the way that I would speak to my loved ones, the people that showed up for me the most. I wasn't always greeting them with the most love and the most kindness. And I know that they weren't getting the best of me. And I say that to say, because I've gotten to a place now, 10 years later, where I'm recognizing, man, I want to make sure that the people that I love most and hold closest to me get the best of me and never what's left of me. So in the moments where you're frustrated with your mom on your way to school, or you slam the door on your younger sibling, I know that these moments are so real, and it isn't always easy, but my goodness, I hope that this would just be a reminder that people are the greatest thing that we will have on this side of eternity. And the ones that you love most deserve the best of you and not what's left of you. So take a deep breath the next time where you want to respond poorly to someone that you love. And even if that's your mom, like I still want to apologize to my mom to this day for the way that I would act sometimes growing up. And of course, puberty is so real, and our emotions and the way they were growing, all that stuff is so real. But it doesn't mean that we still can't choose to control a lot of those moments. And they don't have to shake out to be as ugly as they sometimes are. And that's just some real truth right there, okay? Okay, we love keeping it real here. The second piece of advice that I would give to my younger self is understanding this small quote to the core of your being. And that is this: hurt people hurt people. Hurt people hurt people. And if you really understand this, if you get this in high school, this can quite literally transform your whole life. And I mean that. And why is that? You might be being like, Cece, well, why would I ever care about hurt people because they hurt me, right? We could live so offended sometimes. And sometimes we feel as though we have the right to be offended because of the weight in which someone did hurt us. But I really want you to get this, because that mean girl that hurt you, or the teacher that had such a short fuse with you, or the person that quite literally just shrugged you off for no reason that you can even comprehend, they are all going through a battle that we may never know. And does it make it okay that they hurt you? No. Does it justify their actions as to why they did what they did? No. But can it allow you to extend grace and love and forgiveness towards them? Yes. Because why? Because that is something that you get to control. We can't control who hurts us. We can't control how people react to us, but we can control how we choose to react back to them. And we can control what we were going to choose. Or are we going to choose peace? Are we going to choose love? Are we going to choose this forgiveness? And I think that when you fully understand that hurt people, you have a ton of more grace upon them. And I mean, that's what we need, right? To just be the people that extend grace upon more grace. Why? Because you guys, we are all human. You're listening to this right now. Guess what? You a human. And if you're a human, we're going to mess up. Because on this side of heaven, we're just imperfect people continuing to chase a perfect God, and we're going to fall. And you know what really is sad, and it does suck if we're being honest, is that whether we plan to or not, you guys, we're going to end up hurting someone we love. And it may be something small, and I pray to God it's smaller rather than bigger, but we are so imperfect that there will be a day where we hurt someone we love. Or maybe you just did hurt someone you love, and you're like, man, I hate that happened. I'm really just wanting to take that back. Maybe it's those words that you said to your mom that you're like, man, why did I say that? I was so impatient. And what do we want back from them? Our hope is that we would want grace and love back from them, right? After the moments where we messed up, we just want that same grace back. So if we are seeking that, what does it look like to give it? Like, I will always be someone who stands on the hill of whatever you are looking for, be. Like, if you're looking for more joy, be the joy. If you're looking for more good friends, be a good friend. And I think that it's just so, so important to know that those people that hurt you, they're going through a battle. And we could be just praying for them. And that's hard, y'all. It's hard. And I've gone through seasons where I've prayed for that someone that's hurt me well. And then if I'm being honest, there are moments where I didn't pray for them well, or I didn't pray for them at all. But then fast forward, I recognize how much that just doesn't sit right. It just doesn't. So recognize that truth, and knowing that that person may not be out to fully get you or get at you. They may just be climbing a hill so big and so treacherous that we don't know. So extend the grace and extend the love. The third thing that I would tell my younger self is, sis, your body is here to serve you. It's not here to make you feel less than. And I say this because I've been surrounded by younger generations, and even while I was in high school too, I thank God that I never battled with this personally myself a ton. Of course, there are moments where I'm like, man, I wish these jeans fit better, or I wish that I could wear that bathing suit with more confidence. But I know, and I don't take it lightly, that there are more girls than there are guys. Of course, there are guys too, so I don't want to just speak to women here. But I know that a lot of girls struggle with their body. and with their body image and the way that they see themselves. And I used to work at Lululemon in college and post-grad, and you never heard of Lululemon. Where you at, sis? Where you at, bro? Highly recommend the brand. It's incredible athleisure and athletic wear. But what I love so much about working there is that they had incredible values that the company was built upon, and one of which was how we viewed bodies and how we treated the dressing room. And I want you to take this nugget and run with it, okay? Allow it to be something that you do from here on out. But when we used to work at Lululemon, we would help women put on leggings, and not actually help them get dressed, but pass them different types of leggings and basically play dress up in the dressing room. And it was one of the most fun positions to be in, is being by all of the leggings in the back, because you would see these women walk out and they would strut their stuff. You just would feel so great when you have these leggings that fit perfectly and they're a cute design or cute colors and all that good stuff. And on the other end of that, there were also moments where girls would walk out of the dressing room and they would say something terrible about themselves, like, "Oh, I hate the way that this looks. Look at my fat bulging out on my stomach," or "Look at the way that my legs and my what is it even called? Cottage cheese on my legs keeps coming out." They just would say these terrible things. And maybe you're listening to this right now and you're like, "Shoot, I've said that before." And you know what? That's okay, because it's behind you now. But moving forward, we did this thing where every time we heard someone say something bad about themselves, we would tell them that they have to say 2 things that they love about themselves. And I want you to do that. And actually pull some friends into this with you. Like, say, okay, to my best girlfriends, to my best guy friends, every time I hear you say something you don't like about yourself, you have to say 2 things you love about yourself to combat that one bad thing. And here's another tip. If you are someone who struggles with body image and you have yet to overcome this battle, something that has helped friends and has also helped me in seasons too, is every time you see a mirror, whether that be the very corner of a mirror in a restaurant or a full-blown mirror as you're walking out of the door for school or for work, I want you to look in that mirror and say something you love about yourself. Just one thing that you love about yourself. And I can almost promise you that you are going to see your heart and your mind transform in how you view your body. You guys, our body is a gift. Our body is a temple. And the way that we choose to view our bodies and fuel our bodies matters so much, because it ends up translating into all of these different areas in our lives that we may not even fully recognize. Like, we're just going to show up loving people a lot better because we're that much more confident in the way that we walk. I don't care what size pants you are. God gave you those legs on purpose. God gave you those arms on purpose. And if you were in a season of getting into more shape, that is amazing. That is excellent. Please plug into the episode with Reagan Davis. I love that you're growing with your nutrition and you're growing with your fitness. But no matter what size you are right now, you are serving a purpose beyond your pant size. Okay. Let's make that a quote card. And I get so passionate about this because I just think that you are able to walk more in your purpose when you aren't looking at your body in this way. And I know that this is a heavier, bigger topic, and I'd love to dive in deeper here, but I would tell my younger self, my sis, your body is here to serve you. It is a vessel for you to accomplish what God's purpose for your life is on earth. So use that well, and don't make it and don't allow it to make you feel less than what you are and what God has said that you are. The 4th thing that I would tell my younger self is bigger, quote unquote, is not always better. And when I mean bigger house, I mean bigger car, bigger bank account, bigger following on social media. bigger is not always better. I came across this TikTok video earlier today, and it was talking about how so often we look at these big life moments, these moments like graduation or our big playoff game or our weddings or landing our dream jobs. All of these big milestone moments in our lives are few. They're very few. What is the majority? The majority of our lifespan on earth is the mundane. It's the day-to-day. And this video, I'll likely reshare it on That's Joy's Instagram account because it just was so powerful. But majority of our life is spent in the in-between. It's spent in the moments where we're walking towards that next big milestone. And so often, if our eyes aren't fixed accordingly, we'll look and keep our gaze so fixed on that next milestone that we miss what's happening today. Like today. And while I hope and pray that you have big dreams and that you run after those big God-sized dreams of yours, I never want you to think that it's better. Because I think that's where we get a perspective shift. We get a choice in how we view it. Like, absolutely, God wants you to accomplish great things with your life. But sometimes great could mean showing up to your grandma's house unannounced and bringing her flowers because you can in this season and because she's still here. I don't know who that's for. That wasn't even in my notes. But I just think that we don't have to wait to hit 1 million on Instagram to feel worthy. We don't. We can feel worthy by how we're showing up for our neighbor. Maybe that's your actual physical neighbor that you've yet to introduce yourself to. I don't know who it is, but bigger is not always better. The last thing that I would tell my younger self is all of it ends up better than you pictured. All of it. I think back to 15 and 16-year-old Cece and the hopes and the dreams that she had for this life and what she thought she would look like at 21 and 25 and 30 are a bit different. They're a bit different than what she had pictured. But all of it, all of it, is better than she pictured. The job, the man, the friend group, the home. All of it ends up better than you pictured. And I want you to grasp this, especially if you're younger right now plugging in, that those things that are on your heart that feel like, oh my gosh, if I don't accomplish that, then I am nothing. My friend, we cannot root our identity in those things. The job, the spouse, the friend group, the home, none of that can hold our identity. Our identity must be found in Christ and Christ alone. And I think that when you are operating from that place, when you are saying that today I am enough because I am a child of God, I am a daughter of God, I am a son of God, of the Most High. When you're able to operate and live life from that place, everything else just becomes an overflow. So the job that you have your eyes fixed on, if it may not be the one that you had pictured yet, and maybe you're in a place where you're like, yeah, well, Cece, I'm really unhappy in my job right now, then I totally hear you. And I'm not saying that that is God's plan for you, but what I am saying is that He's not done. He's not done. And where He is taking you is going to be better than anything that you could ever ask, think, or imagine. It will be better than what you had pictured anyways. And I share this on several episodes. And if you haven't gone through the Rolodex of the 20 episodes so far, please do, because there are so many tidbits that I share throughout my life and how God has used just certain seasons and people and opportunities for my good. good. But the thing is that it didn't always feel good during the time. But somehow, some way, God has always turned it for good. And I'm not saying that I'm done or I've arrived in any way, but what I am saying is that I'm witnessing and walking in the fruit of so many things that I have walked through fire for. Like, I've walked through some fire, you guys. And I think and truly believe that some of the most joyful people that you will come across on earth have walked through some fire. And that is the why, that is the reason why they carry so much joy, why they choose joy, why they choose to live in a place of gratitude, because they've walked through the fire. And if that's you who's walking through the fire right now and nothing that I listed is what you pictured, good. Good. Why is that good? Because he's using it. Nothing is ever wasted. He's using it right now. There is something that is brewing up inside of you and being born inside of you that is equipping you for the next season. And you have to believe that. And my goodness, I wish that my younger self really grasped this sooner. Every hardship, every valley that you're walking through, God is going to use it for your good and his glory. So you walk through that season. If it means you're crawling through that season, my goodness, you move forward inch by inch. Just make sure that you're moving forward and you're taking each lesson, whether it be in the seat of loneliness or job loss or a breakup, whatever it is, God's using it for your good. So don't miss the moment. Make sure that you're putting every tool in your pocket, because guess what? There will be another valley in the future, and it may be a deeper one or it may not be a deeper one. But no matter what, we are not people who just get to dodge every valley in life, because that just quite literally wouldn't be life. So take that valley and take every tool you can with you and put it in your back pocket, whether that be a tool of patience, a tool of understanding, a tool of grace, a tool of really, really knowing that hurt people. And then walk forward. Because I'm telling you that if you are to get this sooner, your eyes will begin to see things differently in this world, and you will experience more joy than you could ever ask, think, or imagine. I just know it to be true. You guys, I get so fired up about this topic because I think that there's so much fruit in the next generations. And I want to share Proverbs with you that I read this morning, and it's this. It's Proverbs 3 verses 3-4. And it says, "Let love and faithfulness never leave you. Bind them around your neck. Write them on the tablet of your heart. Then you will win favor and a good name in the sight of God and man." I'm so excited for wherever God has you right now and wherever he is going to take you, my friend. If there was a certain part of this episode that you're like, that, just more of that, Cece, you can shoot me a text with what exactly that is at 615-813-4813. And if you're not following me on social yet, please go do that. You can follow me at CCALBONERO, and you can follow That's Joy the Podcast on Insta and TikTok as well. If you've yet to leave a subscription, if you've yet to subscribe, rate, or leave a review, please go do that. It would mean the world to me. It's like the biggest way that you can send a virtual hug. So thank you in advance for taking 2 minutes to go do that. I'll never leave an episode without saying, if you have even the smallest desire to meet the creator of the universe, or if you've already been saved but you aren't really free, I want to invite you to sit at the table of plenty with me and so many others. I'm telling you, there's an abundance here. There is an overflow here, and there's so much joy to be had here. God's for you. God's for you. God is so for you. He's waiting for you, and he wants to meet with you. And friend, I'm so proud of you. If you just made this decision, I'd love to know you. Shoot me a text and the number in the show notes so I could pray for you. I love you and God loves you. And until next time, I'll chat with y'all next time. Thank you so much for being here.